And so that's afterwards. But you got plenty of time to come and eat, and then if you choose to go to the party at the community center there in Town Park, you're welcome to go there, or you can stay as long as you like at the and I'll stay with you as long as you like. Carla will bail on us. I'm just warning you in advance. But we always have a lot of fun, and we had one year that we had. I think at the end it was Carla and me and Bobby and Melvin. Everybody else bailed on us. She may have. But always have a great time. We usually end up playing games, and then I try to have a little bit of a little message, but sometimes everybody leaves and I don't get to. Saturday's the first Sunday of the month, or Saturday of the month. Um, I know, but actually, Tanya brought this up. She's like, that's a lot to do. You got the first Saturday and the third Saturday ties everybody's up for, you know, the whole month. How would you guys feel if we just had a joint and we could separate men and women at the end after we have breakfast? If they need to, or we can have it together. We can do it both ways. We can. But what would you think about that? That works. That way we're not tying up. It did go great. So go for the third. Okay. Okay. The third Saturday. Okay. So what day is that? Because I don't have my calendar with me. Just so you guys are all on the same page. So we're going to do a joint instead of the first Saturday. We'll do the third Saturday, and then we can separate. We can have it together. We can kind of bounce around, do a little bit of everything. But it's just a fun time to have the 17th. Okay. All right. So this month for sure, we're going to do it the third Saturday. If we all like it there, we'll just leave it there, and we'll just do it the third Saturday, and just have a time of fellowship together as the body. And we'll, like I said, we sometimes we'll separate, sometimes we'll stay together. It just kind of depends on what we've got going, and who and what we've got speaking. So, okay, fun. All right. I think that's all I've got for now. Actually, there's one more thing. And I haven't got this together, but this is just something that I know a lot of churches do at the beginning of the year, and I've been thinking about this for the last few weeks. But how many of you have heard of the Daniel fast? It's not a complete fast. You fast certain things. With the Daniel fast, there are certain things you can eat, there are certain things you can drink. There's some things you don't eat. Like no sugars, no meats. It's a plant-based fast. It's a 21-day fast, and but it's not like total fast where you don't eat anything. They call it the Daniel fast, and I know a lot of churches do that. And I was just kind of thinking about it. How many would be interested in doing that with me? Okay, we got several that are willing to do that. And if you want to join in, that's great. But I'll get something together, and we'll start probably about the middle. Well, I guess it'll have to be after the 17th. Um, but probably maybe that Sunday, the 18th, we'll start our 21-day fast for the new year, and just so okay, perfect. I just wanted to see if I had anybody that's willing to do it with me. I hadn't even talked to Carla about that. So, anyways, so I titled my message this morning "New Attitude for a New Year," and just there's a lot of things that we got to remember, but I want to start out in Psalms 42. Psalms 42. I want to I want to just start out by reading it, but again, when we begin this message, we're looking at the new year, and and I this is if I was to take some of Psalms 100, this is the new year that the Lord has made. Well, let us rejoice and be glad in it. How about that? In Psalms 100, it says, "This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it." But I believe God's got something great in store for us this coming year. And yep, we did sing that. As the deer pants for the water, so my soul longeth after thee. All right. In the or the New King James, it says, "As the deer pants for the water brooks, so pants my soul for you, O God. My soul thirsts for God, the living God. When shall I come and appear before God? My tears have been my food day and night. They continually say to me, where is your God?" Now what a horrible way to start out uh, this psalm. He's like, man, sounds horrible. He said, but he starts out pretty good. And then he starts saying, hey, this is what everybody's telling me. He says, where's your God? And, he said, my tears have been my food day and night. Continually they say to me, where is your God? Anybody ever felt like that? Where people are just like, oh yeah, you're a Christian. Why ain't everything going good for you? Mm-hmm. All right, in verse 4 it says, when I remembered these things, I pour out my soul within me. For I used to go to the multitude. I went with them to the house of God with a voice of joy, praise, and multitude that I kept the pilgrim feast. Why are you cast down, O my soul? And why are you disquieted within me? Hope in God, for I shall yet praise him for the help of his countenance. O my God, my soul is cast down within me. Therefore, I will remember you from the land of the Jordan, from the heights of Huron, from the hill of Mizar. Deep calls to deep, and at the noise of your waterfalls. All your waves and billows have gone over me. The Lord will command his loving kindness in the daytime, and in the night his song shall be with me, a prayer to the God of my love. I shall say to God, my rock, why have you forgotten me? Why do I mourn? Why do I go mourning because of the oppression of the enemy? As with the breaking of my bones, my enemy reproaches me, while they say to me all the day long, where is your God? Why are you cast down, O my soul? And why are you disquieted within me? Hope in God, for I shall yet praise him, the help of my countenance and my God. So, we can see this man's depression. He's going through a hard time here. And you may not be familiar with what all is happening here, but his joy, what he wanted to do was exchange his depression for joy. Kind of like that second song that we sang. I'm trading my sorrows. I'm getting rid of them. I'm trading my sorrows for joy. And that's what he was wanting to do here. He was wanting to trade his sorrows for joy. Now, and you may be going through something, and you may have gone through something this last year that you're just like, man, this has been a rough year. This has been tough. But just know that God's got something great in store for you. When you go through some hard times, it's preparing you for something. I don't know what it may be. And we've all gone through things in our lives. We've all gone through struggles. There's been trials. There's been times where we're just like, God, I don't understand. Why is this happening to me? I'm not a bad person. I've been pretty good. I've done what I should do. I'm trying to do my best, and then everything seems to fall apart. And and in fact, this man here, there's three things. We look at his condition. First, he's downcast. In one translation, it says, "Why are you in the dumps?" Another translation says it this way: "Why are you so sad? Why are you discouraged?" The second word is disquieted. In the Hebrew, that term is the idea of an unpleasant sound or a commotion or a clamor. It refers to unpleasant music of the soul. Not just unpleasant music, but unpleasant music to the soul. You ever listen to music that just like brings you down? There are some songs that are just like, ugh, and you get miserable. But that's what he was doing. In fact, that one translation, the Peterson translation, says it this way: "Why are you singing the blues?" And I like that. It's like, why are you singing the blues, oh my soul? Why are you singing that? Why are you so upset? Why are you just singing this here? And then it talks about the mourning, and in the Hebrew, this was to be like dark and dingy. It refers to somebody's facial expression when you're just, and people know when you're sad, right? When you're just down in the dumps, people can see it. No matter how hard you try, you can't hide it. And that's what and I mean, one reference referred to it as a facial expression or the garments of sackcloth worn by grief-stricken people. Can you identify with that? Where you're just like, oh, man, this is so horrible. How are you? I'm fine. Everything's great. Don't even try to hide it. Because there are sometimes that circumstances and things happen, and life is tough sometimes. Even for Christians, life is tough sometimes. And God didn't say, when you become a Christian, everything's going to be just a bed of roses, because that's not the way it happens. You still have life. You still have things that happen throughout your life. Good things and bad things. We can all identify with that. And this writer here, he was actually one of the sons of Korah. That was Israel's musicians and worship leaders. So here you've got a guy that is supposed to be one of the uplifting, encouraging people of the tribes, and he's down in the dumps. If you ever notice the people up front, and I'll just tell you this, when you're up front and you're looking out at everybody, it's hard not to get discouraged sometimes. You're out there singing, "The joy of the Lord is my strength." You're like, oh, goodness. It's hard to smile sometimes. But here, this guy's going through some junk. He's got it rough. So you may not know the whole story, But and let me just go here. He begins in 42 in Psalm 42, because he feels separated from God. Right? That's basically what it is. And we've all felt that way at some point in your life. And if you haven't, you will. You're going to feel like, God, I just can't touch you. I can't get a hold of you. I don't feel it. I'm not feeling any joy. I'm not feeling anything. I'm just here. And probably this guy was in exile, both spiritually and geographically. He was taken from Jerusalem, away from his normal place of ministry, from his hometown. He was a captive. And in fact, and like I said, his ministry was to be in the temple courts, singing praises, honoring God. That was his job. And yet, where was he? Well, verse 6 there offered a clue. Let me go back to verse 6. He says, "I remember you from the land of Jordan, from the heights of Hermon, and from the hill of Mizar." And so the heights of Hermon was, and that hill. And then he goes on. He says, "Deep calls to deep, and the noise of the waterfalls." This man was probably in the far north. He had been taken away and taken up north away from Jerusalem. So he's no longer where his homeland. And in fact, that one word there, Mizar, it means little, and it refers to probably one of the smaller hills on around Hermon or Hermon. That range, and it was actually close to Caesarea Philippi. If you're familiar with that, that's the area where he was taken to, and we've kind of talked about that a little bit in the past. And in fact, if you go all the way back to 2 Kings 14:14, this is where it tells of King Jehoaz was invaded the nation of Judah. He swept into the temple. He looted all the treasures and took some of the temple workers hostage and took them north. And so we don't know for sure that that's exactly what it was, but it sure sounds a lot like it to me that that's where he came from. So he's been taken hostage. He's up north. He's been taken away from everything that he knows. And maybe that's what this hostage was writing. He's writing this psalm. And, again, probably all of us have felt like we're in exile, like we've been taken away from what we know, what we feel good about, what we like, and all of them things are just gone. We're far from the life that we wanted. How many of you are exactly where you thought you would be 20 years ago? Nobody raised their hand. I mean, we have thoughts of where we think we'll be, and I'll just be honest with you. When I first came here, I told Carla, I said, man, I know that this person will come, this person will come, this person will come, this. And I went through all of these things, these different scenarios of people that would come to church and how great the church would be doing. And guess what? Almost none of them showed up that I thought would be there. And a lot of them moved away. And I'm like, how does that happen? I mean, I thought I had it all figured out. I knew what was going to happen. I knew how God was going to just make this just an amazing thing. And yet, that's not what happened. I was far from the life that I thought I would have. Now, when we get through and we get into things and we start having problems, psychologists will tell you that the first thing you need to do is just understand that it's not your fault. Right? The situation that you're in, the problem that you're in, the thing you're going through is not your fault. You just deny it's even there. And that'll take care of it. That'll make you get through it. No, that don't work though. You can deny it all you want. You can say, nope, that's not the way it's going to happen. That's not even happening. I'm not here. And it doesn't work. And then they'll also tell you that you should just blame somebody else. It's not your fault. It's that other person's fault. It was them that caused the whole problem, and we put it all on them. Instead of taking responsibility ourselves, they say, just blame everybody else. It was your mom and dad's fault. They got a divorce. That's the reason that it's their fault. Or they didn't give you everything that you wanted when you was growing up. It's got to be their fault. Or whatever it may be. Blame somebody else. Well, guess what? That don't work either. Sometimes you just got to accept responsibility and move forward. And then the other thing they'll do is they'll say, you just have to accept it. That's just who you are. You can't help it. That's the way you were born. You just accept that and you become that, and that's who you are. And you just embrace that and see how good that'll. And guess what? That doesn't work either. So, this is what I do. And this is what I believe that the Psalms was saying here in Psalm 42. In Psalm 42, he begins as a prayer, and as he prays, this man's confidence grows and his courage returns. And we see that by the end of Psalm 43. So there's times when you're going through something that you just have to stop and talk to God. That's not the only thing you can use. Sometimes it takes faith. Sometimes it takes, you got to have faith to go along with your prayer. You got to have love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness. All of these things, these are all part of being a Christian. And that's how we get through things. We love people in spite of them being people. You got to love me in spite of me being human. I'm going to mess up. I'm going to say something. I'm going to do something. And I'm just warning you now that when I upset you, you still got to love me. Sorry. But that's the way it works. We have to keep working at that. And so when you first start realizing that, hey, I'm down in the dumps, I've been singing the blues, I've been feeling sorry for myself, I've been having it rough, first thing I want to encourage you to do is to stop and spend time with God. That's what this guy did. He starts by talking to himself. And well, he starts as a prayer here. He says, "As the deer pants for the water, so so pants my soul for you." Starts out. He says, "God, as a deer is looking for water when it's hot and it's dry, and that deer is looking for something, and it's wanting that little bit of something. That's when he has to go and find that brook, and he takes that drink, and he's like, "Oh, that feels so good." You've been thirsty before, right? And you've got that drink, and you're like, "Man, that is exactly what I needed." Well, that's what we need to have, that same kind of attitude when we go to God. And God, I need you so bad. It's because of you that I can get through this. It's not because of anything I've got or anything I'm going to do. It's because of you, God. And we've got to understand that it's all about Him. And then the second thing we need to do is to talk to others. First of all, go to God, and then find somebody to talk to. Verse 2. He said, "My soul thirsts for God, for the living God, when I shall come and appear before God." You know, right there he's talking to you and me. He's talking to whoever will listen, actually, but you know, there are 6 billion people, or over 6 billion people in the world. And it could still be one of the loneliest places you'll ever be. You got to find somebody to talk to. You got to talk to people. With that many people, you'd think we'd have somebody to talk to. But that's why they have support groups, so that you can have somebody to go talk to. That's why they have bars. That's why they have chat rooms. They want somebody to go talk to. Was on Cheers, everybody knows my name? Someplace you can go to where everybody knows you, where everybody talks to you. Again, that's why it's important to have this here. This is good. This is where we can talk to each other. We can encourage one another. We can help each other get through. We know who our help is. You don't need a bar or a chat room, though. What you need to do is find a good Christian friend. Open up to them. Share your heart. Tell them what you're going through. Having that person that you can just say, "Hey, I'm struggling. I need some help. I need some prayer. I need somebody just to encourage me." We all need that. I don't care who you are. We ask others to pray with us. And you know what? You're never as strong as you are when you're side by side praying with somebody. You're strong, yeah, when you're on your knees. But when you're with somebody praying, that makes you stronger. And sometimes Like the psalmist here, you got to just talk to yourself too. He asked the question, he said, he's talking to himself here. He says, "Why are you cast down, O my soul? Why are you cast down? Why are you singing the blues? Why?" And he's talking to himself here. He says, "Oh my soul." That means he's talking to himself. Now, you need to have others, but sometimes you just need to encourage yourself. Sometimes you just got to, well, and you can't do it, but you pick yourself up by your bootstraps. You get up. And then he says, "Why are you disquieted within me?" Then he says what? Hope in God. That's where our hope is. He's reminding himself, he's saying, "Why are you so upset? Your hope is in God." That's where your hope is. That's where your joy is. That's where your peace is. It's not in everything else. It's not in everybody else. It's not. He said the real hope is in God. That's why I trust in God. He's not going to fail. He's always going to be there. He addresses himself. And sometimes, a lot of times we'll listen to ourselves when we should be talking to ourselves. We have those negative little voices inside us playing the discouraging tapes of endless hope, or endless sorrow. We're like, "Man, I'm having it so bad. And we start feeling sorry for ourselves. But we need to have that joy where we can trust in God. We encourage ourselves, saying, "Man, know that your joy, your peace, your hope is in God." I'm just encouraging you today. I'm not really getting on to you today. I'm just telling you how to get through this coming year. You may have to say, "God, I don't understand what I'm going through, but I'm trusting you. I know you're going to be there for me. I know you're going to be faithful. I know you're going to get me through it because there's no way I can get through this without you." We need to get rid of those discouraging, endless loop tapes. Take ourselves by the hand, set ourselves down, and give ourselves a good talking to. Your trust is in God. My trust is in God. That's who my trust is in. It's not in everybody else. It's not in who's going to make me feel good, because, and that person may make you feel good for a little bit, but we got to understand that we have to trust ourselves. We have to trust God. We have to get to where God is the one that we're listening to. We're not listening to everybody else. In verse 43, let's look here real quick. At the end of verse 43, it says it again. Oops. He says, "Why are you cast down, O my soul, and why are you disquieted within me? Hope in God, for I shall yet praise him, the help of my countenance and my God." God's the one that's going to give me a smile in spite of everything that's going wrong. God's going to be the one that helps me get through that trial, that hard time, that past year, but I'm going to have a different attitude this coming year. I'm going to have a better attitude where I'm just saying, "You know what? God's got this." Because honestly, I can't help you. Your neighbor can't help you. Only God can help you. So, sometimes we've got to just learn to preach to ourselves. And I'm preaching to me right now, by the way. Maybe if you've been singing the blues, talk to God about it. Talk to a good friend. Talk to yourself. Maybe it takes all three of you. Talk to God, talk to your friend, and then say, "Hey, come on. God told me to be encouraged. My friend told me to be encouraged. You be encouraged." Sometimes we just got to talk to ourselves. Those three are actually lifelines that'll help you get through it. That'll help you be able to say, like the psalmist here, "Why are you cast down, O my soul? Why are you disquieted?" This year, This is the year that the Lord has made. I'm going to rejoice and be glad in it. I'm going to have a great year this coming year. I'm not going to worry about what's happened in the past. I'm looking forward to what God's doing this year. I'm expecting great things. I don't think God's going to hold back the blessings. I think He's got lots of great blessings for us. We just have to grab them. Okay, I'm done. Shortest message of the year. Took me all year to get a short message. I want to encourage you, though. Number one, spend time with God. Spend time with a friend. Find somebody that you can talk to. Find somebody that will encourage you. Too many times we find friends that don't encourage us. We need to find one that will encourage us. Somebody that will build you up. Because guess what? We need it. Even somebody that has the best attitude that you know still needs to have somebody to encourage them. I like talking. And again, let me just throw this out again one more time. If you are going through a problem, and this was one that I read and I loved it and I shared it, but I want to share it again. If you're going through something and you need to talk to somebody, call them, text them, whatever. Say, I need 8 minutes. 8 minutes, right? When you need 8 minutes, that's a sign saying, hey, I got to talk to somebody. I need somebody to talk to right now. And I guarantee it'll make a difference. So, I've only had a few people do that, by the way, since I've said that. But I have had a few that have said, hey, you got 8 minutes. One of them, first time he did it, he just said, just checking to make sure you've seen that. He didn't need nothing, but if you need 8 minutes, just tell him, hey, I just need 8 minutes. And it may not be enough to get you through it, but it'll get you through to where they can pray with you and they can help you through that issue. Talk to God for 8 minutes. Talk to yourself for 8 minutes. All right. Everybody good? Mind's clear? Heart's clear? All right. Receive this blessing. The Lord bless and keep you. The Lord make His face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up His countenance upon you and give you peace. And now may the God of peace make you holy in every way, and may your whole spirit, soul, and body be kept blameless until our Lord Jesus Christ comes again. Amen. Amen.